Hey Stinkerbutts, it's me Keisha, aka Color Me Pynk, and I am here with a new Spill the Tea video. So, part two of the Nene Leakes interview with Carlos King came out today, and I listened to all of episode one. The second episode, I think I had maybe about 20 more minutes left, but I just wanted to get this video out to you guys today, so I decided to cut the video a little short because I pretty much heard all I wanted to hear anyway. And there's certain things that I want to discuss that were spoken about in the interview and give my opinion on some of the things that were said. Now, for all of you fanatic fans out there that will probably not agree with some of the things that I have to say, I don't care. Be respectful in the comment section or you will get blocked, okay? You will get blocked. These are my opinions on my channel. If you don't agree with them, that's fine, but don't be disrespectful. Don't be coming at me about what I got to say about what was said, what was done, how it was reacted. Mind you, be on your P's and Q's, okay? Be on your P's and Q's and don't be disrespecting nobody else in the comment section because some of y'all are crazy. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, okay? Get it together or forget it forever, all right? So, first thing that I wanted to touch on was Nene on finding love. The guy that she's been dating, she says that she has a love for him, but she's not in love with him. She said that she doesn't feel like she will ever find a love like she had with Greg. And she said that she could see herself having a long-term companionship or whatever with someone, but she don't think that she'll ever love somebody the way that she loved Greg because how good of a husband Greg was. And that's sad to me. That really honestly is. I pray that that changes for her. I wonder how old boy felt when he saw the interview and heard what she had to say, because when they filmed this, they were on a break, but she literally just posted maybe 2 days ago a video of her and her new guy and Uncle Ben, Cynthia ex-husband. Y'all know I can't think of the man's name right now. Anywho, but they were all together having dinner or whatever. And I wonder, had he heard her say that before? Was something that was already spoken upon between them two? Because that would hurt my feelings. But yeah, I hope that that changes for her because, you know, I might not like a lot of the things that Nene says and does, but everybody deserves to have love and companionship and all of those things. So prayerfully that will change for her. Then she spoke on Cynthia, and this is where I had a big problem with the interview, and it was starting to really go left for me. With the things that she was saying about Cynthia, how they will never be friends any longer, and that's fine. You don't have to be friends with her. But she made claims that Cynthia tried to get her fired from the show, and she wasn't a good friend, and all of these things. And I just 100% don't believe that. I really, honestly, truly do not believe it at all. Cynthia really tried, from what we saw, it seemed as though Cynthia really tried to be Nene's friend. And I don't feel like the friendship was reciprocated genuinely from Nene. We all saw when they fell out on the show, she was saying that she felt like Cynthia should be let go. I'll never forget that episode of Watch What Happens Live when she said that. She literally started saying it anywhere she could in interviews that Cynthia should be the one that's let go and all of these things, and, you know, just dogging her, and has not stopped since. And to me, that shows the measure of a friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like how you treat me after we quote unquote have fallen out or whatever. That's how I see, were we ever really truly friends? And I think from my perspective and from what I've seen, I think that Cynthia was a really true, genuine friend to Nene, but I feel like it was not reciprocated from Nene. I feel like she was a flunky for her. Cynthia was a flunky for her, and when it no longer suited her, she basically threw her away. I do not believe that Cynthia tried to get her fired from the show. Why is this the first time we're hearing this? That's craziness to me. That's craziness to me. I need to see receipts on that. I really honestly do. I really honestly do. And if this person had done all of these horrible things and wasn't ever a friend, when Greg passed away, she was making comments about the fact that she was upset and mad that Cynthia didn't show up to the funeral and all of this type of stuff. Then when she did show up, y'all taking pictures with each other. This is what I don't like about Nene. Nene flip-flops back and forth, back and forth. One day she like you, then the next minute she don't. Next minute she like you, then the next minute she don't. You just never know where you stand with this woman. And I feel like that's part of the issue of why she's in the predicament that she's in right now. Then she says that the girls on the show were coming for her and trying to get her fired and didn't support her and back her up like she did for them. And Nene, to me, refuses to take accountability for anything that she's done. These things could very well be true, but let's talk about also the things that you have said and done throughout the years to your co-stars, your co-workers, how you've made yourself the queen bee of the show. You've down-talked the other girls. You've said negative things about the other girls in the press, on the show, in interviews, you know, saying that they're not star quality, they're not this, they're not that. You weren't a team leader. You weren't a team player. At some point, to me, and we all felt this way, a majority of the audience started feeling this way in Nene's last few years on the show, that it started to be evident that Nene became, well, in her mind, she became bigger than the show. She thought that she was the show. She thought that she was the end all be all of Atlanta Housewives. She literally felt as if that was her show. Her show. But at the end of the day, love, you were an executive producer. You weren't a producer. You were a cast member that can be replaced. And I think somewhere along the lines, she thought that she was so valuable to the network and to that show that she started to show her black ass. And we all saw it. Nene started to be very condescending, belligerent, snobbish. Her attitude was just crazy, outlandish, rude as whatever. She felt like she didn't have to do the things that the other girls did. And even in this interview with Carlos, she continues to say, this was my show. She built this show. She was an original. Okay, let's talk about Vicki Gunvalson. Vicki Gunvalson kicked it off for all of y'all. And she too was fired when she thought that she was the show, that the show was all about her and surrounding her. So don't act like you were the only one that was treated this way when there have been multiple other housewives here in the last few years who have suffered the same fate as you. So all of this trying to make it about race and that, you know, the white girls aren't treated certain ways. Let's stop, because has there been racism or racist things that have happened in the Bravo housewife universe? Absolutely, 100%. Never going to sit up here and act like there hasn't been. But you weren't a lone wolf. You really honestly weren't. And why would the girls support you when you didn't fully 100% support them? You weren't the quote unquote mother hen. You weren't kind and nice to these women, only when I guess it benefited you. So why would you think that they would then try to rally around you and support you when you're the same person that's saying that they should be fired and let go and this, that, and the third? Like, make it make sense, my love. The Ryan Murphy conversation came up, and Carlos asked, were there any, problems between the two of them? And she said no, that there absolutely wasn't. I don't know. It's something there to me. maybe it hasn't been spoken upon between them two, but anybody that follows Ryan Murphy's career sees that he has great working relationships with cast members that he brings on multiple shows of his. What's her name? Lord, I'm having a blank. Sarah Paulson, Julia Roberts' niece, the one little girl that played in Scream Queens or whatever. She's in multiple shows of his. Like, he has a lot of actors and actresses that he continues to provide jobs for and opportunities. And, you know, he had Nene on Glee, and then he had her on The New Normal, which is still to this day one of my favorite shows ever. And I feel like it didn't get the just due that it deserves. But I wonder why she wasn't asked to come on to anything else. And let's be honest, before Nene even got let go from Housewives, in those last few years, we didn't see Nene being on any television shows unless it was like a quick guest appearance, you know, a little quick line here or there. We didn't see her doing any more Broadway plays. We didn't see her doing a lot of guest hosting and all of those things in the later years. You know what I'm saying? Because her reputation as a diva started to precede her. Let's just keep it honest. Let's just keep it honest in a book. She started getting a bad name in the industry because of her diva antics. Point blank and the period. It was good to see that she acknowledged that Kenya was good for the show, is good for the show. I still to this day do not know why her and Kenya fell out. Even if you go back to that season where things shifted between them, I still to this day don't know what Kenya did to make Nene stop liking her and treating her the way that she did. Can somebody let me know what happened? Because I still to this day don't know. As far as Portia is concerned, I think that Portia was a great addition to the show. I really honestly do. But I also think that Nene aided and abetted a lot of Portia's bad behavior. That if Kenya would have done it, oh baby, it would have been World War II. World War II if Kenya would have done and said some of the things that Portia did and said. And I think that she did scold Portia, but because that was little sis, it all was forgiven. And I just feel like that's not right. You know what I'm saying? And in part 2, when she was saying that, you know, she's done a lot of the same things that other housewives have done in the past as far as her behavior. She actually drew comparisons to her walking off of the reunion when somebody said that to her, like, well, you walked off the reunion. She was like, well, numerous other housewives have walked off the reunions. Yes, they have. They have got up and walked off, but they always came back. You didn't. You didn't. We have never seen a housewife walk off that stage and refuse to come back out. Period. If there has been, I don't remember off the top of my head right now. But you, during the COVID season, literally closed your laptop and never came back. And that right there sealed your fate. You got to the point where at reunions, when people ask you questions, you would give snide, snarky answers. You felt like you didn't have to answer certain things. You had a nasty attitude. Like you weren't being a team player anymore. So how did you expect for anybody to want to play with you? Like, hold yourself accountable. Like, I would have felt a lot better about this interview if she would have said, you know what? It got to the point where maybe I was frustrated and my frustration turned into anger and me having an attitude and the way that I responded to my co-stars and to the network or whatever. But it was literally a bunch of pointing the finger at everybody else and not taking accountability for anything that she has said and done. with the fact that she sits up here and says that, she sends a message to Andy when Carlos said, if you could say anything to Andy, what would it be? And she was like, I hate that we've, gotten so far from each other. I would love to talk to you and work things out or whatever. And then when asked, would she want to go back to the show? She was like, I don't know about me personally, but the fans want me back. Girl, Nene, since you left that show, you have gone back and forth, flip-flopping in tweets, in comment sections, in interviews. 1 minute, I'll never go back. I don't want to go back. The next minute, I'll go back. You know what I'm saying? I would love to go back. The next minute, I would never. Girl, you're a flip-flopper. You're a flip-flopper. And let's just keep it a buck. You want to go back. You want to go back. You want to go back. This ain't got nothing to do with the fans. You want to go back. And to talk about the ratings and everything with the show and how the show is no longer number one and her saying that she feels like the network wanted it that way, that's bullcrap. That's bullcrap. I most certainly don't agree with that and don't believe in that. I do not believe that Bravo no longer wanted Atlanta to be the number one show. I don't believe that at all. I firmly believe that the ratings aren't good because the show needs to be revamped. It needs to be revamped, just like Roni needed to be revamped. And this is one of the things that I want to point out as far as Nene is concerned. You are a cast member. You are an employee to Bravo, okay? You had to have known that at some point it was going to come a time for you to ride off into the sunset. Y'all weren't going to be able to continue to do this show for 20 years with it just being y'all or OGs or whatever of the show. It's time to revamp with new people regardless. The ratings, first of all, had started to slip even when Nene was still on the show. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's just keep it a buck. So it's not that the show is doing bad because Nene's not there. No, the show is doing bad because we have literally seen and heard every storyline that could possibly come out of these women. We have exhausted every ounce of their lives, squeezed out every last bit of it. There's nothing else to explore or to talk about. That's why it is time. And I was saying this even when Nene was on the show. I've been saying this for like 4 years now, that Atlanta needs to be revamped. Period. Stop trying. I agree with this with her when she said, stop trying to bring back this girl and bring back that girl. Cut it all off. Start it all over. They had a great run. Made a lot of money, had a lot of exposure. Now it's time to start anew. We're not in the late 2000s anymore. This is a whole new day and age with a whole new crop of women, a whole new way of thinking and, expressing themselves and their marriages. It's time to let those ladies go and give somebody else a chance. But Nene, in her mind, I really honestly think that she felt like this was her show and she needed to be on there until she decided she wanted to be let go. And I don't feel this way just about Atlanta. I feel this way about New York, OC. Jersey has done a great job with keeping Teresa and Melissa and Margaret, but still bringing in a new crop of women. Their new crop of women fit in perfectly. They got that secret sauce right about now. Beverly Hills right about now. The cast that they've created right now with newbies and some of the old school girls, the OGs like Dorit and Erica now and Kyle, but mixing them in with the Suttons and Garcelles of the show. They've created something good. But with Atlanta, no matter how many new girls they try to pick and bring in, it's just not gelling. It's not gelling because it's broken. It cannot be fixed. It just simply cannot. And at some point, the same thing is going to happen with Potomac, where it's going to be time to phase certain people out, bring new people in, or in general, just scrap all of the ladies and bring new women in. Like, that's just how the business works. And it's not a slight to Nene or the women, but it's just time to move it out and start fresh and new. But last thing I want to touch on is when in the interview she was saying that the things that she said and done is no different from anything that the other girls have said and done about the network, and how she can't say the same things that Bethany can say about the network and still get work. She says that she felt like at one point in time she was blacklisted and all of these things. Well, I think that Nene has forgotten the things that she said and done that could have caused her to get blacklisted, that could have caused her, or I firmly believe the reason why she was fired from the show. Let's not forget, and I had to, I always bring receipts. Went and looked up a news article from NBC News. Real Housewives alum Nene Leakes sues Bravo and Andy Cohen over alleged failure to address racism. The lawsuit filed in federal court in Atlanta says Leakes, who is black, complained to executives about years of alleged racist remarks from a fellow housewife. Now, we all know that fellow housewife was Kim Zolciak. And when she filed this court case against Bravo, even then, and I still say the same thing today, I called it bullcrap. Because you want to sue them for Kim making quote unquote racist comments, but you the same broad that throughout all these years that you have known her, worked with her, y'all will fall out. You can't stand her. We'll never be good friends. I'm not that kind of girl. Next thing you know, oh, Kim is my girl. That's my girl. We gonna fall out, but we gonna always come back together. I love Kim. It's a good time with Kim. Which one is the girl? Because I'm sorry, if I'm hanging around a girl that's sitting up here saying racist stuff around me, it ain't no going back and forth. The one day this is my friend, the next day it's not. Make it make sense, Nene. Please make it make sense. Make it make sense. Because at one point she wasn't even on the show. And y'all make up, break up, make up, break up. So it wasn't even about a work environment and you being forced to be around her. That was of your choosing at certain points. So I call BS on that right then and there. Then in another article from Vulture on September 28th, 2020, Nene Leakes called Andy Cohen racist on Twitter and tweeted, "They gonna leave my name out of these shows. Send me your best discrimination attorneys info to booknene@gmail.com. It's war." You called this man racist, and then you wonder why nobody wants to sit down with you and have a conversation. You just can't throw words like racist out about a white person, let's just be honest, and then think that y'all just gonna be back friends again. That's not how life works. This is not a TV show. This is real life. You just can't go around saying whatever you want to say in the moment and then I don't know how we got away from each other. I want us to talk. What? You called the man racist. So is he racist or not? Is he? Because I don't want to talk to nobody that I feel is racist. I don't want to work for nobody that I feel as though is racist. I don't care if the fans want it or not. Make it make sense, Lanithia. Then, page 6. This right here pissed me the F off when she said some were calling me a coon. Now, this is regarding her and Candy. This was something that happened in 2020. This is Candy saying, this right here pissed me the F off when she said some were calling me a coon or something, she claimed. That right there, that's when I was like, okay, you know what? A stunned Harper, who was 39, asked Burris, who's 45, how Leakes, 54, could say something like that, to which Burris speculated that Leakes, who left Real Housewives of Atlanta prior to season 13 in 2020 may be jealous of her continued success on Bravo with her new spinoff Candy and the Game. If we don't communicate, and those are the type of things that you put out in the atmosphere, I don't need to waste my time talking to you anymore. That's just how I feel about it. And I forgot all about this until I went and looked up things. And I remember when she made that derogatory comment about Kim because she was mad at, Candy, because she was mad around that time when Candy got her spinoff show. She was mad. And that was another thing. I never got a spinoff show. I wanted a spinoff show. They never gave me a spinoff show. You had a whole special on your wedding, girl. You had one. Not to say that you probably shouldn't have had another show. I don't know what it would have been about. But let's not pretend that Candy has not produced great spinoff shows for the network. She's done it several times. You know what I'm saying? But to then slang a derogatory comment towards her, what was that for? Like, the lady hadn't said nothing about you, ain't talked about you, and Nene does this type of stuff all the time where she'll sit up there and just say something mean and hateful, and she ain't even in communication with these people. So make it make sense. Then in another article, Nene stated, "They stop every job opportunity that comes my way," Leakes wrote before tweeting again, this time referencing a he that she says abused her and felt threatened by her success. "I am happy I was able to help all the other Black women get job opportunities that are working for them," she tweeted. "He stopped me from working because I was a threat to his career, yet he was able to abuse me for years." Leakes also alleged that she has voice recordings supporting her claims, adding, "I want to release these voice recordings so bad." Now, it's obvious she's talking about Andy. How were you a threat to his career? Make it make sense to me. And so you wonder why the network and why Andy has not offered to sit down and have a conversation with you. You've called the networks racist. You said they blacklisted you. You said that Andy was racist and abusive towards you. And then you wonder why? But she acts like she's oblivious to all the things that she said and done. It's either this or that. It can't be both, because you going back and forth. Girl, have several. And this is why I can't root or rally for Nene, because she's delusional. I believe some of the things that she has said, some of the grievances that she has with the network, but at the same time, you can't scream, cry wolf, and then want to run back to the person that's attacking you according to you. Like, make it make sense, girl. Girl, get out of here, please. So it was a for me with this interview, because Nene has not changed one bit. She has not changed at all. And it's unfortunate that after having all this time away from the show, she still has the same mentality that she left with. No growth at all. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about part 2 and part 1 of her interview with Carlos. Once again, be respectful down below in the comment section. Don't get blocked. I have no problems. Yeah. Let's talk about it down below. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell button. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.